Hi everyone, I'm Kylie. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is the second video in my series on educating about the wage gap, and this video is called The Background, the History of the Wage Gap in America. Let's get into it. So, the ideal for equal pay for equal work began in the 1860s, which doesn't seem like too long ago until you realize that fashion looked like this. So the idea of equal pay for equal work has been around for this long, and we still have as large of a wage gap as we do, is pretty shocking. Now let's take a look at a timeline of the wage gap in America. First, on the left-hand side, we have 1860, and again, that sentiment for equal pay for equal work. There wasn't really much progress in terms of the wage gap until the 1940s, which came in the form of an act called Prohibiting Discrimination in Pay on Account of Sex. However, that act never passed, and it took another 20 years until another act to address the wage gap happened in the form of the Equal Pay Act. However, the acts from the 1960s up through the 80s didn't really do much because many of the employers of that time period simply denied that the wages between men and women were different simply because of their sex. So all of the acts that are on this slide and the other acts that I didn't include weren't often really able to be used against companies that paid their men and women different wages because it was very hard to find a smoking gun is a good way to say it. Now moving on to 2007, you get the Ledbetter vs. Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company. This was a very famous Supreme Court case in which a woman found out that she had been getting unequal pay her entire career at Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company. However, she ended up losing this Supreme Court case because she did not account for the time that she had worked at Goodyear Tire, and the Supreme Court argued that she didn't file her case for discrimination early enough. Thus, under the Obama administration, the Lilly Ledbetter Fair Pay Act was passed. After that, the main thing that has happened in terms of the wage gap is the Paycheck Fairness Act, and 2007 was the first time that this act passed in the House. However, it has never passed through the Senate, and the times that it has been passed in the House and has failed in the Senate is 2007, 2009, 2019, and 2021. Now moving on, as I just mentioned, the Paycheck Fairness Act is the most recent advancement in terms of legislation against the wage gap. It aims to more strongly enforce prior legislation against the wage gap and hold companies more accountable by making them be more transparent with their wages for their employees. So, the main way we're going to be able to see progress in terms of the wage gap with legislation would be through this Paycheck Fairness Act. However, it hasn't gotten passed over the last decade in the Senate. So that's really the main aspect that we need to change. So what now? As you can tell in this image, the House and the Senate are very divided on this issue. So if we want to see real progress, we're going to need to have legislation pass that continues to hold companies accountable and makes sure that wages become more transparent so women in the workforce know when they are or are not being treated equally. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please feel free to comment or give me any feedback or ask questions. If you don't want to do it in the comment section, I also have an email dedicated to this project at wagegapeducation@gmail.com, so please make sure to check out the rest of my channel, and I hope you enjoyed today. This is my works cited page. Have a good one!